In just 25 years, one army conquered more territory than Rome managed to control in 400. Its founder started life as an outcast with almost nothing. His name was Temujin, and before he became a conqueror, he was a boy abandoned on the harsh Mongolian steppe after his father was poisoned by a rival clan. For years, Temujin fought, negotiated, and clawed his way up through a brutal world of competing nomadic clans, slowly building alliances and a reputation for ruthless discipline. In 1206, the scattered Mongol tribes finally united under his leadership. They gave him a new name, Genghis Khan, meaning universal ruler. What made the Mongol army so terrifying wasn't just numbers. It was speed. Mongol horsemen could ride over 60 miles a day, far outpacing any army in the world. Every Mongol soldier grew up on horseback and could fire a composite bow with deadly accuracy while riding at full gallop, a skill few civilizations could match. Genghis Khan organized his forces into units of 10, a decimal system that made his army incredibly easy to command, coordinate, and reorganize on the battlefield. The Mongols also mastered psychological warfare. Cities that surrendered peacefully were often spared. Cities that resisted were destroyed as a warning to everyone else. This reputation for brutality often did the fighting before a single arrow was fired. Entire cities surrendered the moment Mongol banners appeared on the horizon. The first great empire to fall was the Khwarezmian Empire in Central Asia, after its ruler made the fatal mistake of executing Mongol envoys and traders. Genghis Khan's revenge was overwhelming. Within a few years, some of the wealthiest cities in the Islamic world lay in ruins, their populations scattered or destroyed. After Genghis Khan's death in 1227, his successors kept expanding the empire even further, pushing into China, Persia, and deep into Eastern Europe. Mongol armies crushed Polish and Hungarian forces in a single year, reaching the shores of the Adriatic Sea before an unexpected event pulled them back home. The death of the Great Khan back in Mongolia forced commanders to return home for succession politics, accidentally saving Western Europe from further invasion. In 1258, the Mongols turned toward Baghdad, then the intellectual capital of the Islamic world and home to one of history's greatest libraries. The siege was catastrophic. Mongol forces destroyed the city's irrigation systems, burned its famous House of Wisdom, and killed an estimated hundreds of thousands of residents. Legend says the Tigris River ran black with ink from the destroyed manuscripts, and red with blood, for days after the fall of the city. The fall of Baghdad ended the 500-year-old Abbasid Caliphate and is still remembered as one of history's greatest cultural catastrophes. At its peak, the Mongol Empire stretched across roughly 9 million square miles, making it the largest contiguous land empire the world has ever seen. Yet the Mongols weren't only destroyers. Under what became known as the Pax Mongolica, trade routes across Asia became safer than they had been in centuries. Merchants could travel from China to Europe along the Silk Road with relative safety, and goods, ideas, and technologies spread faster than ever before. The Mongols also built an extraordinary postal relay system called the Yam, allowing messages to travel across the empire faster than any system in history until railroads. Genghis Khan's legal code, the Yasa, enforced religious tolerance across the empire at a time when much of the world was consumed by religious conflict. After Genghis Khan's death, the empire eventually split into 4 separate khanates, each ruled by his descendants, gradually growing apart from one another. In China, the Mongol-ruled Yuan dynasty eventually collapsed in 1368, pushed out by a rebellion that founded the Ming dynasty in its place. Modern genetic studies suggest that millions of people alive today carry a Y chromosome, lineage strongly linked to Genghis Khan and his immediate descendants. Nearly 8 centuries later, the Mongol conquest remains one of the most staggering achievements and one of the deadliest events in all of human history. Historians still debate the death toll, with some estimates ranging as high as 40 million people killed across decades of campaigns and conquest. Yet without the roads, trade networks, and connections the Mongols forged, the world might have taken centuries longer to become as interconnected as it did. Genghis Khan began life with nothing but a horse and a handful of followers. He ended it as the ruler of the largest empire the world had ever known.